Hello and welcome to Anatomy of Us, a show dedicated to bringing real help to real couples. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
What's up, guys? My name is Seth Studley. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and together we are high-performance marriage coaches.
We are cutting through the bullcrap and creating a movement of happy, healthy, badass couples all over the world.
Let's go! Now people want to learn and talk about marriage. So what's up, guys? My name is Seth. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Hello, welcome to the show. This is my wife. She is a high-performance marriage coach, and we created the Anatomy of Us podcast. We're here to bring you some practical tips and, honestly, advice that we wish we had when we were going through the crapola.
Real help for real couples.
The crapola. Why you should listen to us. We've been married for almost 19 years. We have 3 kids. We have built a business around our stupid stuff that is producing good stuff, and anything you want in marriage is possible. And today, this title of the show is How to Win Your Wife Back. We get so many emails from the ladies, from the ladies.
No, not from the ladies. I don't know. What were you about to say?
Sorry. Well, ladies complaining about their wives. What's wrong with my husband? It was different.
My gosh.
So
You just said ladies complaining about their wives. Do we need to start over completely?
No, we don't. But my dad used to say, he has a sign in the house that says something about... hey, brain, remember to engage before your mouth speaks or something.
Right.
Like, you're driving a stick shift. You pop the clutch before you're in gear, and you don't do anything. I think that's what I just did. So
that was funny.
Sorry, we're slowing it down. The name of this show is for the guys, How to Win Your Wife Back. We get a lot of emails from guys and ladies, but mostly from guys saying, hey, I lost my wife. What do we do? She's not this, she's not that. Well, we want to give you some practical tips and advice on how to change that and how to rekindle that marriage that you once had, because it all starts with you, dudes. Oftentimes, you have stopped doing what you did to woo her, to court her, to impress her, to keep her safe, to listen to her.
May I stop you right now?
Yeah.
Because I don't think it all starts with the guys.
You don't?
And that's, I was actually fitting to lay down the you-know-what, the what for. Give people the you-know-what for.
The hammer.
The hammer. Because oftentimes, well, what I was going to say that I think is insane is we almost never, and I mean never with a capital N, get emails from women saying, how can I love my husband better? But we get emails from men, loads of them. How can I be a better husband to my wife? How can I support her more? Blah, blah, blah. But literally almost never is it the other way around. And that's something that I want to talk about.
The woman in the wild is a complicated species.
What are you talking about? What was that? The funniest part was seeing you think to say that. It was in your brain and you were like smiling to yourself, getting prepared. And then you had your opportunity.
Imagine
and
David,
you shone. You hath shone.
I did. I showed up and showed out. Imagine David Attenborough's voice.
Say it again.
Well, I don't want to fake a British accent,
Try it.
but I could listen to my grandma long enough, right? And here we have the wild Melanie.
The woman in the wild.
Right?
What was your quote? I don't remember what it was. Anyway.
I don't know, but this is titled for the dudes, How to Win Your Wife Back. And I like using, obviously, therapeutic stories as a therapist. And then what I find even more powerful is our own stories, not just anecdotes that we've picked up or thought of, but our own stories of times when I have won you back. And we talked about it on a webinar with Larry Hagner, Dad Edge Podcast, who we are joining with, by the way. Go to Power Couple Summit 2023 to join us in Orlando, Florida, July 28th and 29th. It's going
to be amazing.
With Larry. We're putting on a massive show at the Hilton Orlando. Trust me, it's awesome. Lazy River, Cabana, boom, you want to go there. Go to powercouplesummit2023.com. There are 20 early bird tickets left, and we sold a bunch today.
Maybe.
So
maybe there's, it depends on when this episode comes out.
After the allotted 20 tickets go away, guess what? You're stuck paying higher prices.
Yeah.
Trust me, guys. Oh my gosh. How to win your wife back? Listen to this show and implement what we talk about, and take your wife to beautiful sunny Orlando in July to a luxury hotel and learn from awesome people.
It's got a lazy river.
It's got everything. Trust me.
Restaurants.
If we were in the crapper and I said, hey, we're together, we're not getting divorced, but I know that I've done some stuff that has misplaced your trust in me, that you have lost respect, if I said, you know what, I know this, I want to not make it up to you, but to show you, to put my money where my mouth is and say, hey, I'm willing to take you to Orlando, buy you some spa tickets.
Maybe not,
or whatever.
don't say willing to.
Well, yeah, don't say willing.
That sounds a little weird.
I want to invest in our marriage by going to a kick-ass marriage conference in Orlando. Oh, by the way, honey, when we're down there, let's hit Epcot Center. Let's go to Universal to see the Indiana Jones ride. Ooh, I got you there. One? I got you there, didn't I?
Oh, I just got really excited.
I know you did. Like, that was a genuine excitement. And there might be. I'm not sure. I have to double check. But if I said all those things, if we were on the rocks and I said those things, hey, I want to invest in this because you're important. We are important. Let's do this. I think it'll be great. Would you be like, oh, no, you blew it, sucker?
Oh, I would 100% be mean to you if we were really in the crapper. I would be mean, but I would want you to take me.
You're going to have to speak to the women about that part.
I would be mean, but I would still want you to take me.
So you'd push back a little bit, but you still want me to go?
Yes. Will you turn that heater off? It feels like a gazillion degrees in here.
I did.
Thank you. But yes, I think there's a lot to be said for that thing right there. But I want to get back to,
by the way, powercouplesummit2023.com, powercouplesummit2023.com. Go there right now. I promise you. So, okay, let's dive in.
So the reason that I wanted to title this episode, How to Win Your Wife Back, I also, the other name I was thinking of it was How to Be Her Hero, How to Be Your Wife's Hero.
Right.
And I want to talk about this because I don't think enough people talk about the fact that that genuinely is a man's desire when he gets married, is to like be his wife's hero, like to rescue, like the damsel to rescue. Don't they talk about that in like
in Wild at Heart?
John Eldridge.
He talks about guys have a couple of things just born innately straight from God. You know, a desire to fight, to slay a dragon, to win, to prove themselves worthy. Right? A lot of us want our dad's approval. Sometimes we don't get that. We go searching for it in vain elsewhere. But there's things that we can do to find that. And then we want a beauty to rescue.
That's what it is.
And the beauty to rescue is your wife. And the times where that has happened in our marriage, where I've fully felt confident in, you know, air quotes, rescuing you as a beauty, and you have responded to that, that is worth the price of admission 100 times over.
Right.
And how does that feel as a woman in that?
I'm not a woman. Just kidding. I was thinking, we just watched a show, What is a Woman? And the lady says, I mean, it's clearly, I'm not even going to get there, but it was funny.
How does that make you feel as a constellation?
It makes me feel great when you do that. And I want to, again, and please correct me if I'm wrong about
I always do.
These. Correct me if I'm wrong about how I speak about men.
Okay.
But I think that in our current culture, there's not a lot of advocates. There aren't a lot of advocates for healthy masculinity, especially not very many females advocating for healthy masculinity and like the appreciation of healthy masculinity. And in marriage, I think I just was saying this on the webinar today with Larry's dudes, is it's like we've intellectualized ourselves into this like stupid cycle of trying to fight our biology. Would you say that you are wired to want to protect me?
Yes.
So if you weren't watching, Seth made a quite rude face.
I did what Hattie does when she's frustrated.
You did like a guffaw face.
Right.
So tell me more about what that means. You're wired to want to protect me. What does that look like? Actually, in fact, say that and then expand on other ways that you feel like actually wired as a man and husband.
So, okay, that's a huge question.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, it's something like I haven't thought about, because it's like a fish doesn't know it's in water kind of thing. And growing up as a boy first and then as a man, it's not something that I've thought about that much. It's just something that I've done.
Right.
It's kind of like the nurturing aspect of you as a mother. You didn't read about it and go, "Ooh, I should apply that to my life."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You just don't. You know? Just like an elk or whatever doesn't read a book about grass and go, "Oh, I should eat grass." Just
imagined an elk leaning against a tree with its legs crossed, reading
smoking
a book.
A pipe.
Like reading a book about like how to elk.
How to elk, right?
Elk 101.
So it is something that I haven't thought about, but I have definitely, it's something you don't think about until you're out of congruence, and then you think about it. You know, like a fish doesn't think, oh, I'm in water, this is great, until the fish is out of water and they are, you know, they can't breathe. Something's wrong, something is askew, kind of thing. And I believe in our marriage, we have gotten into arguments and difficulties and conflicts when we're not in that innate state of being, if that makes sense. Right?
Yeah. So the question I was asking you is, can you explain more about what it is, like what is wired into you in the sort of like husband-man realm? Well, so let me say it this way. What do you wish women understood, or that I understood about how you're wired as it relates to our marriage and being a man?
Man, that it is understood by you to a degree, and also respected.
What's the masculinity part of that? This is it's not a hard question. Of course, I know it. It's kind of a hard question just to be plopped on like that, but because it is something that you don't think about. I remember, and it's so funny because Mariner has done this as long as I've known him. Our son.
Yeah, our oldest son, the desire for him to fight villains, right? When he was 4, 5, 6.
He always had a sword pack, is what he called it.
He had a sword pack. A sword pack, you know, like a sword sheath in his back. And he would run around chopping stuff and talk about fighting villains, you know, bad guys. I promise you, most men that I know, and this can borderline into fantasy, like, okay, what are you doing? You're, 200 pounds overweight. You couldn't fight your way out of a paper box kind of thing. So not like fantasy stuff. Like in our minds, we replay scenarios of, okay, somebody comes in, I get my thing, I'm prepared here, I do this. So since I was like 4, that's just a scenario that is played out, and we see it in our boys, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the boys will tell me what they will do if like a bad guy gets in.
Right,
and then I don't ever think about that.
And then even Hattie we've talked about what she would do and where she would go, and she's never said, "Oh, I would fight them."
Right.
She would come find me, or at her Taekwondo studio. This is really funny. She said, "Well, Dad, you can leave me here because it's safe, because everybody there knows Taekwondo against villains, And
so
I said, yeah, that's true. So it is an innate thing to protect. That's a protector role. Like, there is no coincidence that most first responders are male. Firefighters, paramedics, police, military, and I'm not saying, of course, I have known a lot of female. In fact, I was in a great training just last week, led by a female chief of police, and she was great. Yeah, she was great. So it's not like women can't do that, but it's not a coincidence that guys fall into that more often than not, right? So number one, it is innate, that protector role, and then the provider role. I feel like a lame duck. I'm serious. If I'm not contributing to the family in a way, and it's not, okay, I contribute to the family by cutting the front yard grass or making a meal. It is contributing in the larger way of, hey, this makes one of my parts makes this whole thing work. I mean, we make it work both together, but one of my big parts is like financial stuff, right? I mean, we own a business now, so we work together in that, but it's been that way for a long time. So protect, provide, and then we talk about male leadership.
You getting Mickler vibes over here. Protect, provide, preside.
I know. I mean, it's the.
What does that word mean? I think it means something else.
Preside.
I think you don't know what that means.
Presidio.
What word you mean? What is that thing they say on? I think that word doesn't mean what you think it means.
Preside?
No, that's from a movie.
Oh, I see. Well, preside means to look over, to preside over, kind of, You're up here looking.
Being in a position of authority in a meeting or other gathering. Play a musical instrument, especially a keyboard. I love definitions when they don't fit.
Maybe that's what Mickler's talking about. He's like, you play the keyboard.
Provide. What is the first one?
He's going to get mad at us.
But it was too funny not to say it. Let's say it just one more time. It was
protect, provide, preside.
Protect, provide, and smooth jazz.
Smooth jazz.
With Ryan Mickler.
That's funny. Anyway,
the visual is so strong in my head right now of him with like a loosely buttoned blouse, and he's stroking them keys, geez. And he's got like a cigar. That was fun.
Let's stop while
in my mind.
Ahead. Let's just not.
But let me say, what does it feel like? Okay, and here's where I want to get to. Again, this episode is for the men as much as it is for the wives of said men, because Seth Studley. How does it feel if I say, I don't need you to protect me?
It feels like you are trying to take away something that I have an innate nature to do.
Mm-hmm. How does it make you feel about me when I say, I don't need you to provide for me? I can pay for my own things. Thank you.
Then that can feel, and people don't get this twisted. I was going to say that feels emasculating, but I know a lot of women in particular might hear that and go, oh, well, I have to.
If you're offended, go listen to something else. We're not. We are actually trying to help you, by the way.
Right. So,
sometimes this is how it works. Mm-hmm. So I'm asking because I think.
Okay. So emasculate would be the incorrect word, because I want to encourage men to be in a position of, hey, you can do anything with or without your wife, mm-hmm. which you actually can, and so can you. Mm-hmm. But when we're in the position of, no, I want to invite you, and you add so much more mm-hmm. to that. You could make money.
Is it like devaluing maybe?
It is devaluing, mm-hmm. and then oftentimes if the woman is doing that over a long enough period of time, I swear to G, the guy will go, okay, peace the out.
Don't do that.
Freak. Peace the freak out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. The face he made was really funny.
Okay, peace out. You don't need me? Guess what? I just might go find somebody who does. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about that before. If people are in a marriage situation, if people are married and they are not getting their needs met over a long amount of time, I have said it before, I understand why infidelity happens. Mm-hmm. Oh, the husband is a complete douchebag over and over and over. And the second that she gets some sort of attention, sexual or non-sexual from work or wherever, she's going that way. Mm-hmm. And same thing with husbands too. You know what I'm saying? So there is a point where it can go to, yeah, peace out. Mm-hmm. She appreciates me. And I feel, man, it sounds so, I feel more like a man there. Well, maybe that's just true.
Right. And so here, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, what if I was just a wuss of a dude, some Seattle idiot?
Oh, snap.
Yeah, oh, snap, right?
You're fitting to lose all of our Seattle followers. Sorry.
Well,
Seattle.
Not sorry. And what if I just devalued the heck out of your innate nature, your ability to give birth and foster life? Right. Oh, kids, no, don't want kids, don't want any of that. And why are you so nurturing and all this stuff? What would you even think of me? Would you hang around for 1 second longer?
Right. Yeah.
No.
That's what I'm saying, is that we have an entire generation in society right now that is like taking the most massive dump on men and how they're wired. Literally just like innately wired. I don't care. You can be a manly lady. You can be a first responder who's a woman. I don't care. That is not what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But to absolutely and so pointedly devalue the fact that men do want to be your hero. Men do want to rescue you. They do want to protect you, right? That is so damaging to the psyche of men. And it's more important for me to talk about it now because obviously we have 2 boys that will be men soon.
Yes.
Right? We have 2 teenagers. And I see these behaviors in them. And again, living out in Seattle, it really is, it makes these things feel hyper pointed, where they may not feel as pointed in other parts of the country or maybe other parts of the world. But out here, like I just was listening to, oh my gosh, the Jordan Peterson podcast where he has a guest on talking about like physical play and like parkour and stuff like that, and how important it is to actually let kids be like physically like fight and play tag and do whatever.
And
he literally said there was a school district, Mercer Island.
Oh, no.
Mercer Island that took tag out of, you couldn't play tag at recess. And then they took recess and made it 7 minutes long because kids would fight after 7 minutes. This dude is like a researcher.
Jeez.
And Mercer Island is down the road from us, right? So again, I know that this feels like off the topic. We're talking about how do you win back your wife?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just we've got to establish this deep respect for how we are wired as humans, as different sexes and genders or whatever. Who knows if I'm even using those words right? But I want to start there because until you can identify and voice and clearly express to your spouse and she can hear you of like the things that are valuable to you, it may just be this stupid fight forever.
So you're saying,
go ahead.
Well, you're saying, okay, the title of the show is How to Win Your Wife Back. And I am thinking of things that guys can do, but it sounds like you're speaking to the women of, hey, maybe your husband is trying, pay attention to these things and don't just dump on them.
Right. And
is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's part of what I'm saying.
So you're speaking to women.
I was very much doing this on purpose to set it up backwards, but I also do have things to say for the men. I think we have a lot that we could share there. But one of the things, again, now I'm fitting to just be mad. Men are in men's groups trying to be better husbands. I see it a lot. You know what I see a lot less of? Add in the cricket sounds, would you? What do I see a lot less of?
Women in women's groups.
Trying to be better what nows?
Wives.
Yep, that's right. You can release the cricket sounds now. Where are you, ladies? What are you doing? Like, I'm saying this as a person who used to do this when I had a husband who did want to provide for me and did want to protect me and did want to play the piano for me. I took a dump on it. I just was a total a-hole to Seth for no reason other than, well, you think I can't do it myself? Right? Like this just weird energy of...
So what was the flip for you?
Oh, a lot of things. There was a whole host of things over time, but I think it actually was it in therapy? It might have been in counseling or something. And you basically looked at me and you were like, you have no idea how much you've hurt me. And it's basically this accumulation over time, like a snowball effect of what I would say, I'll say emasculating for lack of a better way of saying it, but like just devaluing how men are made, how men are wired, how men think. Well, that's dumb. That's stupid. You're just this. You're just a redneck. You're just blah. And again, that's the culture that I live in and was raised in is like
family of origin. Yep.
Family of origin. You don't wrestle. You don't, spit. You don't pee outside. You always wear a shirt. You should, like these super emasculating things. And again, let's be as general as we want to be. Let's talk in really broad.
I don't care how this sounds, but when we go camping, I take our kids camping and it is ultra primitive. There's no running water. There's a spring that we drink from the ground. We stick our face and we get all our water there for 3 days, right? And of course there's no bathrooms and the kids just using the bathroom outside. A lot of people would say, oh, that's gross. Or I can't. What? First of all, it's camping. That's what you do. It's not freaking glamping. And do you know how actual valuable that is? Right? Eventually, I let them have electronics, but the batteries go dead, on the way up there. And then we just have the woods and the lakes and the berries and the rocks and the stuff that we find kind of thing. And I don't know okay. If you have a husband who is trying to do that with your kids, you are shooting yourself in the foot if you are trying to discourage it and disallow it only because you don't understand it.
Yeah.
Or only because you wouldn't do it. I was telling Larry's guys that it's like, I have gone to Huckleberry Camp probably 16 years straight. I haven't missed a year. Have you ever gone with me? No. But have you talked crap about me going? No.
Well, in the early years I had.
Well, maybe way in the early years, but you haven't talked crap about me going and taking all of our kids.
No.
And having fun and coming back with
You know what?
hilarious
Let me
stories.
re-say that. My family has talked crap about it, and I love my family and trying to throw no shade, but...
Right. So that's going back to family of origin and how you had to escape that orbit.
Yep. And in this culture, this culture is very much that orbit.
Right.
Like hunting is bad. Don't you care about the nature? Like, you've ever seen
the natures?
Anyway, not the point. But I do want to... I want to start there because I have a really soft place in my heart for watching men. Now, again, I have a very unique perspective as well. Ladies, flip and listen to me when I say this. I get invited to speak to men. I get invited to speak in men's groups. I hear how heartbroken they are because they don't know how to make you happy. But what if you're not happy makeable? What if they're doing all the things they could do, but they're, let's see, also human? Mm-hmm. What if you're holding them either so high on a pedestal that they should be like Captain America or who even knows? They should be Superman. And they can't achieve that, so they're a piece of crap. Or you're holding them down so low that they have no chance of ever being your hero or ever being won over by you because you're a piece of crap, which is again what I was doing. I actually was kind of doing both to you. It's like, oh, well, you're not the best. You're not the absolute peak person. You didn't buy me roses every day. Well, you're a worm. You're a lowly worm.
Right.
And I don't know. I just wanted to really say I get the amazing and unique perspective of speaking to men a lot. And if you understood how hard men are working to try to make you happy, I think you would respond differently. This also happens in our coaching clients. What percentage would you say that the men are the ones who set it up, want it to change, and the wives are the ones dragging their heels? What do you think?
I would say 80% of them, right? So in that, statistically, I could literally go back and see the tons of coaching clients that we've had and memory go, oh, He was, I talked to him first about it, right? And then he got his wife on board, but he initiated it, right? And what was I going to say?
I don't know. Who knows?
Totally forgot. But you did the old switcheroo here, huh? You
I
wanted,
did.
You
I
wanted
do
to
want
yell
to
at
talk.
the ladies. That's good.
I don't want to yell at them. I just want to fuss a bit. But I want to, it's so unfair even in making the title of this episode, I wanted to call it How to Be Her Hero, How to Be Your Wife's Hero. And I immediately can hear all of these Pacific Northwest people saying, I don't need a hero. Who says I need a hero? Why do you think I need rescuing?
But everyone in a relationship, and this is my therapeutic brain talking, unless you are a sociopath, literally, I'm not saying that.
Yep. You mean that
in a flippant
factually.
way. Are you, antisocial personality disorder or conduct disorder or whatnot? Everyone wants to be in some type of loving relationship where they feel cared for and they get to care for another person, right? And so this is really a two-way street. And this is where I won't transition into busting the guy's balls just yet, but ow.
What?
My eyeball got like a needle in it. Oh, that
happened
hurt.
to Hattie the other day, and it was so terrible.
What is happening?
Is it your eyelash?
Am I voodoo stabbed right now?
When in doubt, cast it out. That's what Kathy Greer said to me, and it was so funny.
Get out of here, voodoo eyeball.
Voodoo needle. No,
Anyway,
thank you. In the name of Jesus, we tell you to leave.
There you go. So, can you have a hero if there is no one to save?
Mm-mm.
Can't be a hero, right? And I don't know why the only hero I'm thinking about is Brad Pitt in Megamind.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. What is his name?
I don't remember, but
Metro Man?
Yeah, I think it was Metro Man. So can you be a Metro Man if the city who is in danger of something they don't want?
Metro City, Metrocity.
Can you be a hero if, hey, I'm here to help? No, we don't want it. You're an idiot. I know better. But I clearly see you're in pain.
Right.
You're in danger. You need something. No, I don't. You don't need it. Right? So there has to be some sort of confluence of I am stepping up as a man, right? And we get a lot of these emails, guys finally figuring out, hey, I've been a giant douche for a long time. Oh my gosh. And they join the mastermind, badasshusband.com, by the way. They join the mastermind and they want to do right. And then sometimes the wives are just not having it, not having it, not having it. Now, guys, there is a path that you have to retread. And sometimes you have to retread that path for a long time to build that trust for your wife. But the wife or the other person does have to come around eventually because the hero, if it's Megamind or no, Mastermind, Master P, who? Metrocity.
The city is Metro City.
Metro Man.
Metro Man.
Metro Man.
Man.
Metro Man will realize these people don't want my help. I have this thing to offer. I know that I can fly and lift heavy buildings and whatnot, but they don't want it. I am not going to continue to bust my brains out. I will go somewhere else or give up. And that has happened in a lot of marriages too. And then you are really in trouble when that happens. So it has to happen within like a similar time frame kind of thing.
And I want to really point out that marriages need tension, give and pull, like push and pull, give and take. They need that dynamic. I was just listening again to that same episode about parenting and like kids and play with Jordan Peterson and his guests. And Jordan Peterson was literally saying, he's like, without that tension, even in parenting, you want to have a tension because without it, there's just slack. It's nothing. You can't hold anything. It can't pull anything. It can't help anything. You need a little bit of tension. And part of that, again, is we are freaking wired that way.
Right.
We are wired to want, that's like why our eyes are drawn to things that move, not things that are still. You don't stare at a brick wall. You stare at an ocean because it never stops moving. You stare at clouds and sunsets and stuff like that. We are wired for like movement and motion and tension and friction and whatever. And we, unfortunately, a lot of people try to remove that from marriage, thinking that this like uber straight plane of egalitarian existence is what is good. It's morally superior because there's no leader, there's no follower. That's
almost like a monoculture.
There's no yin to your yang. You've taken out the yang.
Right. Do you remember what happened in the...
It's homogenizing.
Right. One of the factors in the Great Dust Bowl during the Depression, we watched a documentary about this a million years ago. I don't know if you remember it.
Super depressing.
But in the Midwest, in the bread basket of the United States...
Bread bowl?
Yeah. They cut...
Bread bowl.
No, it's not the bread bowl. But anyway, they were just trying to grow crops and stuff. They thought, all this plain land is useless. Let's cut it all down and plant stuff there. It was like monoculturized. And what happened? The natural order of things, which nothing had happened for thousands of years prior to that until they all messed it up. And then boom, you had the great Dust Bowl kind of thing. And is that what we want? Like thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of only one kind of crop? No. Do we want to homogenize our marriage where, everything is the same here. There's no tension. We never fight. We never have fun. We are just here.
We're as low level as possible. We're as like low. It's like if you are too... If you like hunting, but I don't, well, you better not like hunting because I don't. So I don't want to have to put up with anything that isn't easy for me.
Right.
Which is just the dumbest. It's like the dumbest model. And so many people do this. And so many people tear apart their marriages. Again, I'm going to call out the ladies on this one. I used to be such a bitch. And you heard that word to Seth about hunting. I used to complain.
Still say that?
I'm saying it regardless. I used to complain to him. I used to tell him, it's dumb. That's what grocery stores are for. I don't like deer anyway. I don't like elk anyway. Why are you gone that long? You don't even need to. You're just being a dumb like boy or whatever. And then what was worse is I had
a boy goes in the woods with cougars and drags out 200-pound deers.
200 pounds. That's it. That's a baby. You got a pee deer. Loser. Just kidding.
No, I said a deer, not an elk.
A deer. Well, never, not the point. So I want to really, really, really say this too. And a sort of a caveat onto this is that I also was in a culture that does not value hunting. You shouldn't own guns. Nobody should own guns. You should all be vegetarians or vegans or something. And so I was in a culture that didn't value it. And then my own family didn't value it. And then I didn't value it. And I just crapped it all onto you. And it was so bad for your psyche, for the order of who you are. Like, I just wasn't even, I meant to say the divine order of how you are.
Right.
I wasn't acknowledging it or working with it. And again, now that I've sort of woken up to that, again, it's years. I wish I would have woken up to it a long, long time ago. Those differences create that fun tension, but only if you see it that way.
In fact, that is why a lot of people get married in the first place.
Yeah, that is most.
When we were dating, you did a lot of things that I really liked. Minus the shaved head. I didn't dig that so much.
Seth!
What?
You didn't like my shaved head? Sheesh. Keep on.
And a lot of fun things that you did. And I was new and novel to you because I played in a band, rode a motorcycle, drummer, all this stuff.
That was not the new novel part. The new and novel part was that you were a Southern
person. And we did a lot of different things that you weren't used to. And so...
frog gigging.
Yeah. And oftentimes that draws couples together. And then we get married, and those things that first drew you to one another, the things that you found attractive to one another, guess what? You get tired of them, and they begin to kind of not disgust, but they repel you.
Right.
And that it gets on your nerves. Oh, I didn't think you'd do this all the time. Well, what did you think? I was just only liking something I've done for years, and now I'm with you. I'm only going to like it. It has an expiration date on it. Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? And then they couples allow that to get in the way, and then subconsciously we're trying to reach that homogenization of a relationship, which sucks because I'm not the person that you married. You're not the person you married because I've said too many times, hey, don't do that. Don't do that thing. Now, if you're doing things out of line and not good for our shared vision of a marriage, then of course.
It doesn't apply to like maladaptive thing, gamble, addiction. It doesn't apply to any of that.
What?
Well,
I thought you loved it when I, ran up credit card debt at the casino. What's wrong? What? You're not allowing me to be me.
You changed your tune.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that. And again, I know that the title of this is How to Win Back Your Wife, and we will get there now. But I can't just have a podcast that makes men feel small and like they're messing up.
Right.
Because men reach out to us more than women do.
Snap.
Okay. Snap is correct. And I would not feel okay moving forward with this conversation and not really laying that foundation for the ladies. Ladies, step up your game in a lot of ways. Now, to the men, how to win back your wife. This is something that I see, and it really sort of just clarified today in that webinar with one of the questions that somebody asked. And I had this like aha moment that I think the way, and it could just be how men are socialized or how their brains work, I'm not really sure. It's like when men talk about women, air quotes, women, how do you like make a woman feel blah, 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 blah. They think that all women are one big, like they're one big unit of human. Like we're all the same. And that is very wrong.
You're just like a giant mycelium.
A mycelium.
That's connected all over the earth.
Mycelioid mycelium, yes. We're not all, we're not like a field of cows. There's really nothing different there.
Right.
Heifers. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Field of heifers.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to make every wife mad at me on the show.
God, that should be the name of my group.
Listen up, heifers.
But
Is that rude?
No, it's funny. I think it's funny. But we're not like that. And I think what happens is I see men, really desperate men who really love their wives. And again, now just hear me out. I'm talking from a coach perspective because I've seen this for so long now. And I want to get to the core of it because it's so heartbreaking to watch. You'll see a man who desires deeply to change and like maybe he has been just an a-hole for 14 years, but now he sees it. He wants to change. He has a wife who's completely obstinate. She'll say, is that the right word? Obstinate. She'll say she wants it to be different, but her behavior is like it's like smelling dog crap. You like look at her face and it's all sour. And you're like, what? Like he's saying, I'm going to change. She's saying, well, yeah, you should have 14 years ago. Right. And so she's just got this like bitter.
But we have to honor the story behind that.
Yeah.
You know, like you didn't just fall off a log and was a bee and like resisted every good thing that I was trying to do.
Right.
I was dismissive.
Right.
I was rude. I was harsh. Several things. Right. But then there was a realization of, wait a minute, I have to stop doing that. And I did. And then, of course, you responded to it eventually.
Right. And part of this is me talking to me. This is the advice I wish that I had heard from somebody, because people don't, that's why we made this show. People don't talk like this, right? And so you have this husband who wants to change but doesn't have the skill set. You have a wife that's got a dog poop face. She's just mad about stuff. And then you have a man who's like, he's listening, he's reading all the articles. You know, how to make your wife this, how to help your wife feel that, how to, you know, he's joining the groups, he's doing all things. But I think the biggest almost like blank spot or blind spot that men have is they don't actually think about their wife. They think about wives or women, not your wife, your particular woman that you're married to. And I hope, does that make sense when I say that?
That makes a lot of sense. And because it is not, okay. How about this?
Say it.
Oh, I dated a girl. In fact, I was thinking about this today. This is so funny. But my longest term girlfriend, her birthday is today because it came up on my thing. I'm like, oh.
On your what? Oh,
just like Facebook kind of thing. And
my brain was like, your Google Calendar?
Well, it's in the Google Calendar.
I
so
literally
I can remember.
thought that's what you meant.
And that's just a complete side story. But, I remember that she liked roses or, I don't know.
Daffodils.
French fries.
She was a heifer.
Now, my wife should like roses and French fries because it worked for this other lady.
Right.
Woo! Right? No. So, guys, what Melanie's saying, which is very important and very specific. One of the things I think of is love languages. Again, that's a tool. It's not the end all be all. Your love language is different from anybody else's love language, right? It is very particular to you.
Yep.
So, guys, if you come in and hear this stuff or this or that, or, your buddy tells you that her wife loves it, I get really confused of, oh, man, because the flower stand down here at the thing, and I like giving gifts. I like surprising you with stuff, but you don't give a D about flowers. You know what I'm saying?
It's just something I got to throw away when it dies.
Right. You don't care about it.
It's not that I don't care, but
it's not something that you would rather me
rake up dog crap,
take care of the puppies or cut the grass or clean the kitchen or XYZ.
Right.
So acts of service, basically. So I have to take care of that, not take care of that like physically, but take care, respect that about you. Oh, this is the way that I can love Melanie, right? This is the way that you can, guys, now we're getting into the dudes. This is a way that you can win back your wife. See her, listen to her, attune to her, care for her, protect her, serve her.
I was saying this to one of the men in the group. It's like, don't just don't read an article on how to make your wife feel loved. Ask her all of the way, what makes you feel the most loved, like in our home? What makes you feel the most seen when we're on a date? And men, when you ask this to your wife, either tell her, I'm recording this conversation so I can write it down so I will never forget, or ask her in an email where you're writing it down, like she's answering it and you're holding the answers, you're keeping them.
You don't have to record your conversations like this isn't even a phone; it's a case for things. Hey, Mel, how do you feel seen? Record. That's kind of awkward, right?
Well, don't do it like that.
But you can. So this is a good idea, which I did this for years. And I'll just have a different form of it. But have a tiny little moleskin thing in your back pocket. You just write notes down.
A mole jacket?
A mole jacket, right? So, Melanie, how can I make you feel loved today? That's going to be different every single day, depending on your mood, depending on what's going on. Hey, Melanie, what would be relaxing to you right now.
Right.
Hey, Melanie, how can I serve you for the rest of the night?
Right. And I think this is where it's like you should have a running list all the time. I was using the same little booklet things. I share them on our Instagram all the time, but or not all the time, but the little booklet things. Make one for your wife. If you want to win back your wife and you've been doing the thing I'm talking about where you're like generalizing her like a heifer in the field, like all women like roses or all women like, I don't know. I can think of gifts that you've given me where I'm like, who did you think I was? Like, who did you think I was?
That was in the early days that I wanted to give that to you more than you wanted it.
It was so funny. I mean, it's funny looking back at like the things that you've bought me and I'm like, who'd you buy this for? Because it certainly wasn't me.
Right.
And that's I'm not saying that to be unkind to Seth. I'm saying that I think men are actually sold this idea a lot. Think about all of the ads that are like, buy this for your wife, buy this for your wife. Women don't get those ads from in really at all, I don't think.
Yeah, so there's a conditioning of what every woman should want. Now, back to the dudes, right? How to win back your wife.
I wasn't done with what I was saying. To make have a little running journal. You can have it in your phone, like under notes or something, but so like Seth said, the things that make your wife feel really loved are going to differ from day to day, but then you'll probably hit a max of about 10 and they're going to be they'll be the same after a while. You'll see that it's things like I'll just tell you my actual ones. This is, if I were to like assess this house right now and my day and things that would make you feel love, it is cleaning up the dog crap. That's just something I hate doing. And I end up doing it a lot. Putting the laundry putting the folded and cleaned laundry into the drawers. Like just do that. That would feel really loving to me. I'll be 100% honest though. If you did it, I probably wouldn't say thank you. Wouldn't even think to.
Well, that's some crap.
I'm pointing it out to be really honest. It's like I'm asking you to do something that feels really loving, but I also would not think to even say thank you.
I'm fixing to get real.
Get real.
So one of the things, guys, comment on this wherever, if this is you. How, about cuss, but I don't want to.
Uh-oh.
How in the world should I know if I'm doing right?
You're like your granny
if there is no feedback loop in that.
Right.
And the fact that you just said, I would love it if he put the laundry from the dryer to the thing. I would love it. Oh, be so awesome. But I won't even say thank you. That is, all I want to do is just cuss like bonkers because that is ridiculous. Why? Why is that? What if my number one love language was, say, sex, and you're like, okay, let's go. I love my husband. Let's yes. And I, didn't say anything about it. Oh, that was great. I felt so connected. Wow, man, oh man, and hugged and whatever. Just didn't even say anything. Boom, got up and left. Would you be like, what? Is there? Did I do something wrong? I thought I was doing right.
Right.
So where is the feedback loop? That is, okay.
I literally brought it up because
real again. I think that is something.
I brought it up because I also think it's something. I wasn't saying it was right. I brought it up because I'm like, I had a realization of like, the things that I say would make me feel deeply loved. I would not intrinsically think or inherently, I don't even know what the right word is.
Even if I was not in the equation, do you think that in any relationship, in any transaction, in any feedback loop, if you don't give the system some sort of feedback communication to do more of that thing, you will not get more of that thing. I cannot, and this comes from family systems. What is it? A cybernetic loop. You do this happens, there's feedback to adjust it, it gets back to homeostasis, it happens again, and it's a cybernetic loop. It's in therapy, we talk about the thermostats. Okay, we have a thermostat in the house. Summertime, the outside temperature gets to 80. We want it, to be 71 or so in the house. Oh, the inside thermostat feels, wait a minute, we just clicked up to 72. That is the feedback to do something about it. Okay, now we reached back down to 71, the desired temperature. Does the thermostat just keep on going and cooling the house to 32 degrees? No. In a properly functioning system, it reads it, it responds. So it could be like this. Here's our feedback loop. Here's our internal cooling system of the house, our AC system in the house. I do something. Okay. No. You have a desired outcome, right? You want it to be 70 degrees. I go, okay, 70 degrees. I can do that. I'm capable of doing that. The system gets out of 70 degrees. Oh, wait a minute. I see that Melanie's not getting what she needs. Okay. I'm going to act. Put the clothes away. Do the thing. Do whatever. Okay. If I don't get feedback from you, I don't know if that was the right thing, or I'm just going to spend the next 5 hours putting clothes away. Eventually, I'm going to run out of clothes. You know what I'm saying? So that would be as if the AC was just on, and now we're just going down to 32 degrees. Oh, what? There's no feedback loop. So how does the thermostat know to change? So you, being the thermostat, goes, click, we're to 70. Good job. You did what I asked for. You did what you were supposed to do. And now there's the feedback loop. And that is not kissing butt. That is not, oh, I need to thank you for. No, that's how thermostats work. That is how, okay, how are these things, these plants out there budding?
Carl Buddingham.
No, not Carl Buddingham. There are little buds on the trees out there, right? How did that happen? How do they know? What
the temperature
part of the system, the feedback loop, triggered that?
Are you asking like temperature? I think that's what you're asking.
Temperature,
me.
right?
I don't know.
And now the tree responded. If the tree didn't respond, we would go, oh, that tree is dead because it didn't respond to the system. Cut it down, right? That's what we would think, right? So everything is a strategic cybernetic feedback loop.
I've just never heard the word cybernetic used twice in a sentence, and that was very well said.
Hang out with me and you'll learn some stuff. What's the definition of cybernetics? I know that you looked it up. The science of communications and automatic control systems in both machines, the HVAC system, and living things. Relationships, trees responding to spring, everything. Are you kidding?
No one's kidding.
So pissed off right now.
No, you're not.
I'm just kidding. I'm not. Okay, back to guys, win back your wife. Okay, so maybe some cussing. Don't know yet. Okay, if you have been a douchebag and done wrong things, and now you've seen the lights, you say, okay, I can't do this anymore. I take on the responsibility. I take on the accountability for not helping you feel secure, seen, soothed, loved, heard, attuned to, all that stuff. Okay, got it. So my number one thing is you have to have a goal, right? I'll give you some bullet points here. Number one, you have to have a goal. Okay, I want to win my wife back. Okay, what is the goal? Win her back. So define that. Does that mean, okay, we're back to having sex 1 to 2 times a week? We're back to date nights. We're back to touches on the shoulder. We're back to late night talks. We're back to anything, praying together. So this can be anything in the biopsychosocial, spiritual realm. Okay, that's my goal. We're out of the loop here. We don't pray together. We don't go to church. We're never having sex. We barely talk. All that stuff. Okay, maybe you were the reason for that, guy. So you have to be clear on what your vision is. Example, when we went through all the crap, right? I'm like, okay, I definitely don't want another single day of this marriage. What do I have to do to get to where I want to be? And the only thing I knew to do was pray and just be really consistent in that. So I had the vision and I had some tools along the way. And guess what? When you take action on something and when you get moving on something, then what happens? Momentum and inertia. And then it gets easier to continue doing that, right? Have you ever tried to push? Has your car ever broken down and you just try to push it just standing dead still? It's hard, right? That's startup movement, right? There's a lot of energy expelled that. So guys, you have to know that first off. And then once you're rolling. Or
even imagine if you're pushing it, it's rolling downhill. And you're stopping it.
I've done that before, and that's really hard too.
Like that's harder.
Right? But once you get that momentum, it's much easier to keep on pushing the car on a flat ground, which we've had to do a million times with different stuff we had. That is a lot easier. So you have to know what you want to do. Oh, I don't want the car to stay here. Got to push it somewhere off the side of the road. If it's a 6 shift, I got to jump it, whatever kind of thing. So You have to know where you want to go. Because if you don't, if you're saying, well, I don't know where I want to go, but it's not here, so what are we doing?
Right.
Well, you need to take initiative to change that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, consistency. So many guys, and this happens every single day. A guy has a realization, man, I've messed up. What do I do? Okay, I'm going to join a group. I'm going to do this stuff. Me included. I was part of this. You've been part of it too. Been doing this for 2 weeks. What the heck? See?
Nothing's changed.
See? She is a bee. And I guarantee you that you don't look at any other situation in your life like that. Okay, I'm going to start.
I'm going to get that degree. It's
right.
been 2 weeks.
Right. I'm going to contribute to my 401k. What? It's not over 100,000 yet? Oh, okay. Bad investments. No, that's not how it works. I want to lose 20 pounds. Been in the gym for 2 weeks. Okay. Keep on doing that and you will. Stay on that trajectory and you will. So part of this is, okay, number 1, have the vision of where you want to go. Number 2, consistency. Like, okay, get a plan, work the plan, right? And then number 3.
I have a number 3 I wanted to say.
Okay.
I think that the third one should be communication. So this is what I think is missing. And it's really specific communication. And I'm thinking of all of our clients that we've worked with where this exact scenario that we're talking about is happening or has happened in their marriage, where the man is like gung-ho to change. He's joined a group. The wife has dog poop face smell look on her face, and they're stuck. And part of the problem is that the husband has not communicated to the wife like this. He has not said, I have actually been a jerk to you. I have ignored you or been an a-hole or cheated on you, whatever the thing is that he's done. He's not said outright, hey, I've done this thing. Statement hanging up here, I've done it. I don't want to do that anymore. Here's the plan that I want to, the strategy of how I want to stop doing that is I'm going to set up these I'm going to set up a community. I'm going to get into, Seth's mastermind. I'm going to join with these groups. I'm going to go to the Power Couple Summit. I'm going to do here's the steps of what I'm going to do. And then cast the vision of, here's what I want our marriage to look like. Like we are having fun. We're laughing again. We are, we're going on fun vacations. We're having sex more. We're just joking. We're happy. That's what I want to see. And then the last 2 bits that people almost never ever communicate, which I think would be helpful if they did, was number 1, I'm going to mess it up while I'm trying to fix it. I'm going to fall back on my old, maybe I was mean or short-tempered or just said unkind stuff. I'm going to accidentally fall back to that from time to time. And I'm trying really hard not to. So wife, I'm telling you that could happen. It doesn't mean we're failing. It doesn't mean I'm failing. It doesn't mean I was lying to you. It just means that it's going to be hard for me to get that car going up that hill. I might slip up.
It's like, oh, you're going to get sick on a gym day if you're trying to lose weight or something, or you're going to have a better workouts on some days than other days, right? And I'm thinking back, I didn't just say, no, I stated, okay, we're going to pray every day.
Yeah.
Right? I did not inform you of that.
Yeah.
Oh, Seth's calling me like 5 times a day and he's praying. What's he doing? What is this? Has he lost his mind? No, we set it up of, hey, I'm going to do this, right? And that built trust back in you because I was doing what I said I was going to do. And just like Ed Milet talks about, we build self-confidence, build self-esteem by keeping the promises that we make to ourselves. So I said that I was going to do that, and I fulfilled the promise. Do you think that boosted my ego, boosted my confidence, and not in an egotistical kind of way? I began to trust myself again. And when you trust yourself, that's good. It builds self-confidence, and then it goes out from there. So understand, if you want to win your wife back, you got to have a vision for it. You have to be consistent, and you have to communicate all this to her. And it's not like you have to be perfect. You cannot slip up. Wives, don't be that punitive. I want wives to be wise in that and go, okay, yeah, he is doing way better more days than not. That is awesome. And this goes for wives too, right? If you have messed up, then I'm speaking to the guys as well. Treat this with the same reverence that we're talking about. And remember to give grace. If I said, hey, yes, I messed this up, I'm going to do everything I can to make it better, and I was consistent, and you're like, and you were thinking, okay, I can trust this guy again. And then I forget one day or something happens. I mean, not like something like I go cheat again or something bonkers, not saying that. But give some grace around there, because the way that I was going to say that there are similarities between the way you treat yourself, the way you think about yourself is oftentimes how you treat other people. So if you are judging other people, oh, he said he's going to do this and he didn't, you're like, without any grace, then you're probably being pretty harsh on yourself too. And you might also be closing off some of the goodness that can come with this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Makes sense, kind of confusing.
A little bit confusing, but that's okay. It might really make sense to someone else.
Right.
But I think another communication thing that I would add in there is really being explicit and sharing with your wife, like, I know that I've done this wrong and I'm trying to figure out how to help us do this right together. And I'm here for your growth and my growth and our love and our marriage and like the fun that we're going to have in the future. And because again, I think that people get on a journey of wanting to grow and change. Again, I see it way more in men than in women. I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why. Maybe it's just culturally acceptable for men to be in masterminds. I don't know. But I see men being way more vulnerable and putting their ass on the line way more than I see their wives doing it.
I think that it may be part of the divine order of things.
I agree with that.
You understand what I'm saying? Everyone can
like
be a
leader. Yeah.
But there is a difference between male leadership and female leadership.
I haven't seen...
right? So coming from a...
You have a really good point.
Right?
The women who've reached out to us, now don't get this twisted. When it's the woman trying to spearhead the growth, how well does that work?
Not always as good as it could be.
Yeah. I think the men, this is a weight that's on your shoulders that I think that you're designed to carry.
It's a good weight.
It's a good weight.
Why are my shoulders broader than yours?
Because you do trapezius exercises. I don't know.
My
That's
traps,
this, isn't it?
that's your latissimus dorsi.
What'd you call me?
Your lats, traps, buys and tries, bro. Go. Skip birthday. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a part of the divine order of things.
Love.
That's divine order of love. Like, okay, guys, stop your stupid baby crying. You're stronger for a reason, physically, and also you have a different mental responsibility of the load that you can carry in a different way. Trust me, I wouldn't want to have a baby or anything like that. So women are tougher than guys in that respect. But guys, you have to step up. And if you want to win your wife back, I don't care. I hear it all the time. Now, what if I said, "Oh, well, I pray every day and I'm doing the right thing and she's just crazy." Well, okay, I guess I'm not going to do that anymore. We wouldn't have this show.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have our daughter. We wouldn't have probably not a marriage
our
anymore.
Friends. We wouldn't have almost all of our friends.
We wouldn't have all the friends from the podcast, people we go on vacations with and hang out and love and pray with and pray for, all that stuff, right? So anything that you get resistance from oftentimes is meaning that you're on the right track to a degree. Now you have to take wisdom and discernment around this. Like, oh, I'm getting pushback from driving 80 in a school zone. Whoa, it's the wrong thing. No, come on. We're not idiots here.
Yeah.
But it's hard to work out. It's hard to save money. It's hard to build a business. It's hard to have a good marriage. It's hard to be a good parent. It's hard to show up for yourself. It's hard to show up for your kids. Yeah. The pushback is needed, right? That is needed. One, because it makes you stronger. Two, it shows you and indicates that part of the feedback loop that we need to continue going.
You know,
you see what I'm saying? If I was just doing all this stuff for you, stuff that you said, and there was no feedback loop, I would say, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
It is not working, right? So you have to have that feedback. And in therapy, in narrative therapy, we call them, I didn't name this. This is what it's called. It's called a sparkling moment, right? So you have those small indicators.
Someone in Seattle name it?
No, it's an Australian dude. You have Michael White, I think his name was. You have those sparkling moments of, oh, okay, that worked.
Sparkling moment.
This is what it's called.
This is
Right?
odd
I don't
name.
know. Oh, that worked. Oh, she smiled when I prayed. She said, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And there were times when I prayed where you might as well shot me a bird and hung up and kicked me in the nuts, right?
Uh-huh.
But there were enough times for me to go, it's working.
Mm-hmm.
That's the feedback loop. So if you want, okay, ladies, for real,
I want to say something.
if you want more of what you want in relationships, let your husband know.
Give him a sparkling moment.
Tell him thank you. I'm not saying kiss his butt and all this stuff. Tell him thank you. Like a normal freaking human.
Don't be like that.
You held the door for me. Thanks, man. Oh, you let me in traffic. Nod.
Thanks, bro.
Give him the head wave.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
I do. I do see what
It's
you're
a
saying.
marathon show, by the way.
I know. There was something I was going to say before. What was it? We were talking about the divine order. Oh, so again, I'm going to go back to this idea that like the pressure, the puppies are pulling on a tree. That is the cutest thing ever. Oh, our puppies are so cute. Anyway, you were talking about the pressure of like, it's a good weight to have these responsibilities like on your shoulders. So this is going to sound really weird, but I just listened to this study where they were talking about diet and exercise and like facial structure and people's like being overweight and the type of food that you eat. And the softer food is, the less hard you have to work to eat it and the unhealthier you become. And so they're like, there's a direct correlation of everything from like facial, like the harder it is to chew something,
like celery.
Fundamentally, that food is better for your body. Even the act of simply having to chew is better than not having to chew, right? So I could get 4,000 calories from a steak and some, like that kind of food that's
cruciferous vegetables.
Yeah, you heard what he said. You could get all of the calories from that, or I could have 4,000 calories of a mocha frappuccino. What one's better? Calories. It doesn't matter.
You tell me.
Calorie is a calorie. It's just energy, right? Are we sure? And so even we are designed and wired to eat challenging to eat food. We are supposed to be hunting our food. We're supposed to be harvesting our food. We're supposed to be grinding flour and making bread and taking whole animals and cutting them down and like we're meant and built to work really hard and to have pressure. And that's good. When you take it all away, we become the people from what's that movie? With the robots in it, Eve, Wall-E. We're just gliding around with our screens on our face and don't know how to walk, right? And again, I'm very serious when I say that we need to put on our adult panties and just grow the crap up. We just need to be adults about this stuff.
Do hard stuff.
Like I hate the people like, oh, adulting. I'm adulting today. Yeah, you are. And you've been adulting since you were about 16. So could you stop pretending like it's a curse? It is what we are wired to do. Why don't you try, instead of being a baby about it, to do it really well? Just be the best adult you can be, right?
People that didn't adult in the 1800s died. Yeah,
they did. Absolutely. I mean,
there was this thing that I saw. What was it? It was talking about, my relatives, I don't know, crossed frozen tundras and lived and, walked the Serengeti and stuff like this. And here I am having reminders on my calendar to drink water. It's like,
now that's
come on.
funny.
Like Andy Frisella and others, do hard stuff. He doesn't say stuff, but do hard stuff. And I guarantee you that it's been worth it in our marriage. It's definitely worth it on the individual scale. But the healthier you get, the healthier your marriage will be. So if guys, just reiterating, if you want to win your wife, do hard stuff. Do it. Man up to it. And I'm not saying man up in a toxic, goofy, stupid kind of way. Like, oh no, do what you were built to do.
I say that to our kids all the time.
Well, that's fine. Do what you were built to do. Do what you have the innate talent, wisdom, discernment to do, and do it. That's what you were here for.
Yeah.
So that's what it takes, guys. Trust us.
Yeah. So join our groups, be in the Badass Husband Mastermind, join women's group coaching, especially ladies. If your husband says he wants to change stuff and he's doing it, you better get your butt into groups too, or shame on you. And I'm not trying to be mean.
That's right.
But if you say you want a good marriage, are you acting like it? Right?
Snap.
And again, husbands, look at your wives like people. They're not heifers. They've got their own things. Take notes about it. Care as much about your wife as you care about the March Madness thing. What's that thing? Brackets.
Right.
Like care, know her more than you know about the brackets.
Know her more. Also, go to Power Couple Summit 2023 to hang out with us and Larry Hagner in Orlando. PowerCoupleSummit2023.com. I promise you guys will love it. It'll be fun. All right. Peace out.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Anatomy of Us. This podcast is produced by my mom, Melanie Studley, and hosted by my dad, Seth Studley. Our show is edited and published by our producer, Reva Hansen, from Creative Media Support. Special thanks to our Patreon members that get an extra episode every week. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.